think it's also sad that white people will be replaced in a couple of centuries. Our cultures will change in the Western, yes, because we don't have enough kids to maintain our heritage or our cultures. That is absolutely true. It's something that's happening in Denmark, it's happening in the Netherlands, it's happening in Germany, it's happening in Sweden, and it's happening all over the world. So that is a thing that is happening especially in Scandinavia and in Northern Europe. That's a fact. I'm not saying that it's in a negative way, but it's a very, very dangerous subject. Do it, Aphrodisia. Search your fuck. Well, we're not being replaced. We are, I wouldn't say white people. What is the term for it? It has a thing. Is it Caucasic? What is it called? You guys know what I mean. I understand, Aphrodisia. No, we're not talking about. We're what is it? Caucasian. The Caucasian heritage will disappear in the future. It will, if we continue this path. But it might change. Who knows? It's a fact. Look at it in all of Scandinavia. It's happening. Like, for example, that most Caucasian relationships or couples in Denmark has 1 to 2 kids, and other heritage people in Denmark has 3 to 5. So by the end of the day, and someday, if these, like myself, ends up not wanting to have kids, then there will be one less. The cultures are changing, society will change, our world will change. If we look at Spain used to be Islamic in big parts of the big cities. It will happen again, and it will change again, and that's how it is.
Outside, inside? Outside?
Yes, I'm not saying it's called Caucasians.
The white puts them outside.
I understand, Aphrodisia. Nuclear families, what is that? We are Gabriels, it's happening. It's a fact. I'm gonna head off, have a good rest of your night, hope you have a wonderful night, sleep well, okay? And it's happening. What you know as Danish culture, if you're Danish, will disappear. It's gonna be gone. It will disappear. It will change. It will be non-existing. It will be history. You will see about it in museums, but it won't be happening in society. Oh, new. I didn't know that was a term. It's not a loss of culture, it's a change in culture, and it's something we have to learn to accept and adapt. It will be a loss of culture no matter how you look at it. I'm sorry to say, because you will lose past, former culture. It will change into something else, which means that this will disappear, aka lost, and you will have something new. It's just the way it is. Like me personally think it's super sad because I like my Danish culture and my Danish culture is disappearing. That's a fact. And yes, we can talk about diversity and multiculturals and all that kind of stuff, but I don't like what it's turning into, and that's just my personal opinion. I can't change it. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but I don't like what the world is turning into when it comes to these things, that's for sure. I think that every country should maintain their cultures in order to maintain the country's values. I like the multicultural cultures, but I also like to maintain history. It can be discussed for sure, too.
Maar nou heb je net
It will fade out.
gewoon een slappe kaart. Wel dezelfde.
Oh, well, Aphrodisia. Everything will change, like the Vikings changed. We changed then from being Vikings and believing in the Northern mythology to being Christians. We sold ourselves to religion, to Christianity back then. And in the future, we're probably going to be Muslim with the way this rate is going. Just a fact.
Guarda un inno sulla tavola, sono 13 fuori, 8 fuori, 8 e mezza.
Middlebrook, have a wonderful night, man.
13 più 10 io sto...
Adult stuff is important. This is not negative, Chad. This is happening. Okay, why are we closing our eyes? Because I could be wrong. This Islamic culture might turn into something called Danish Islamic or something like that. You know what I mean? Christian Islamic. It might. Their culture is also changing. Everything is changing at a speed we cannot control. It's just the way it is. They are very Dutch, my wicked. Look at this.
Twijfelen tussen tiramisu en het twijfelen tussen tiramisu
Let's try this out. I forgot to take a photo. And thank you, Aphrodisia, for the food, by the way. But it can also be hard for people to understand. Like several countries have been having issues with other cultures for years, and all of a sudden it becomes a majority of their culture. It can be hard to accept. You know, it can be really hard to accept.
Je kunt direct overal een taxi bellen. In Nederland zou we zo'n steken taxi gewoon zeggen, daar kan ik niet komen, je moet 50 meter lopen.
Like the reason why I have a Danish flag is not because I'm a nationalist, but it's because I want to have a memory of the culture that I grew up from, the culture that made me who I am. Because that means a lot to me. And in 50 years' time, where maybe everything has changed, I can look back on this tattoo and it can remind me of how things used to be and what culture I grew up from. That's what it means. Maybe though, it's gonna be Half-Life. I don't know. 200 years, the Earth might be under ice. Or flooded. Who knows? That's why it's so important to stay in the present and enjoy the moment you live in. We'll see. Future is interesting. I like this type of conversations. It's not something, our conversation is not going to change a thing on how society is going to work or how it's going to change. But I think it's interesting to share different theories. And then talk about different things on how the world is evolving. I think it's interesting. If you have interest in it. Yes. Exactly, chef.
Zo'n papieren slot. Allebei in het wit.
It is. I mean, who knows, Maximo? I think we're going to have a big war at some point. Exactly. Take in your surroundings. You're in Rome, which are the capital of the known world at that time, but it fell several times, adopted into something else. Papal States, Kingdom, Republic. It's changed a lot. I disagree, so I think we'll eventually all be Chinese culture. They hold most of the large country's business loans. They control most of the electronic productions. It's only a matter of time before they attack the U.S. Once that happens, if the U.S. loses, they will take every other country one by one. I don't know. They're not really proven in Europe, to be honest. But it's interesting to see how the world is going to adapt, like into different ways, different paths. I think the world is never going to be one big country. Like, it's not going to be all of China. It will always be separated into majorities, I think. Who knows?
Er is geen enkel land waar het tot andere landen opgesplitst in China. Andere landen opgesplitst.
You have to remember the world is the most peaceful it's ever been in our history. There you go. True fact right there.
Heel vaak. Wat was Nederland? Nederland.
It ain't. Look at Russia. Still, if you go, what, 60 years ago, there was the Second World War.
En nou is het allemaal Nederland. Stel wij zouden nou weer opsplitsen tot...
Hoezo? Luxemburg is toch nog steeds Luxemburg?
Ik bedoel Limburg. Stel wij zouden nou weer opsplitsen tot Nederland, Noord-Brabant, Noord-België en Limburg als ze naar ging. En dan weer Nederland, en dan weer terug, en dan weer Nederland, en dan weer terug. Zoiets.
It is peaceful. Like, the only reason why you have all this stuff in Syria and that's Iraq, Afghanistan. Why did we have wars there, Chad? Can you tell me why we had wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? I'm curious to see this. I know my opinion and I know where I have my data from, but doesn't mean I'm gonna share it. Interesting, huh? The world is not as black as white as we think. And who knows? Our history might already be written, and we're just dolls in a complex play, which we're never going to be able to change. So you tell me, is any of this real? What do you see around you? Kind of like AI. Hey, thank you, Glido. Hey, Gladox.